Constitutional Court to make 5 major declarations and orders. They are all centered on the argument that the president violated the Constitution by initiating, chairing, and approving Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3. So the first one, they want a declaration that the president failed to fulfill his constitutional obligations, which speaks to the applicants arguing that by Mnangagwa chairing and approving the bill that changes how the president is elected, extends presidential and parliamentary terms, postpones elections, and benefits him. It means that he violated Section 90, subsection 1, which speaks to the duty to uphold, defend, obey, and respect the Constitution. Also, Section 92, Section 90, subsection 2b, which speaks of the duty to respect liberation values, e.g., one person, one vote. And then Section 196, subsection 2, which talks about the duty to avoid conflicts between personal interest and public duty. So what they are simply asking there, they want the court to formally declare that he failed in his duty to observe that. And then and there's another declaration which they are seeking that all the cabinet deliberations that we've done on the bill are invalid because ED chaired the meeting and he directed cabinet in a process that allegedly violated the Constitution. So the applicants want the court to declare that the discussions that took place, the decision and the approvals relating to the bill are null and void. The third one they're asking for is a declaration that reinforces Section 328, subsection 7, which prohibits Mnangagwa from a term limit amendment. So they are asking the court to say that any amendment, transition clause, or continuation of office mechanism that extends the tenure of a sitting president is invalid and cannot apply to the incumbent. So this is like targeting the introduction of the 7-year term and it being applied to Emmerson Mnangagwa as a current president who is serving his final term. They want also an interdict against the president in terms of him signing this into law or assenting or advancing law. So they are saying that any similar amendment that would extend his tenure or alter election timing in a way that violates the Constitution it must be stopped. So this is a preventative order that they are looking for, and they want to block any further executive action. So so in short, that is what they are arguing, and that is now the matter that has been brought by war veterans. I think there are 6 of them, and being supported by Lavo Maduku. Maduku is behind that. So this is the latest legal challenge that had been put before the Constitutional Court. So we are going to find out how this is going to be dealt with and how the courts are going to be ruling on that matter. Right. So let me quickly go to Owen and then Oh, sorry. All right. Okay. Sorry, Mdaraji. Sorry.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Thank you.
Apologies.
And thank you, Owen. I shared the court application with Owen a few minutes ago because I got it from my lead lawyer, Maduko. And as I was saying before, a few days ago, that the issue is on the president and his constitutional duties of upholding the Constitution, Section 90. And accompanied with that, in the application are heavy annexures, and the annexures are centered on his promise, both nationally and internationally, that he was going to be constitutionalist, and he was not going to. So like I told you again last week, that Maduke told me that this is the route. He gave me the copy, I gave it to Owen, I gave it to a few other people, and I'm so happy. Thank you very much, Owen. He made his analysis. Of course, the analysis, we had discussed it. I'm on the ground. I know some things that are happening. And this, which came, it will be very difficult for any court of law to dispute the evidence. You remember, the president also even wanted at one point to have someone jailed for 20 years, which is level 14 of the Criminal Procedures Act, whatever, for saying on social media that he had said he was for 2030. Now he's a person who changed, so those are the bases on which they are pinning him on section 90. And of course, the Constitutional Court has to make the declaration, and it also has to overturn that. I don't know how. But again, I'm so impressed by your platform, Ango Jeda, and I'm impressed what is going on. And it was also timely that you came up with Resistance Radio. In a few days' time, we will be approaching you. Like I've always promised you, we'll be approaching you. I don't care what people think I am, whether they think I'm Guajamisa or Rukwani, but this we are doing as Zimbabweans. There's something coming up. Again, I'll tell you, there's something coming up in a few days' time. We've had several meetings. We also have had our youngsters, I don't want to call them youth, but we have our youngsters that have been going around the country. Now we think it's time for us to put in something, and it's coming up. We've done the legal documents. The legal documents are in place. They're in good order. I looked at them. I smiled. I shared with some people. They smiled as well. So the collective and active action, let me say, right now, we have got the court case challenge, which was imminent, in which we did mention, which we said, but it is the overwhelming evidence presented in the legal document that I think ZANU-PF scored an own goal. It doesn't matter that the courts are captured. It does not matter at the minute. The way Zimbabweans are amplifying this issue from all corners of the world, it will be difficult to ignore it international stage. I know ZANU-PF knows. I know they've got sleepless nights. I know they actually don't know why they listened to Ziambi. If you remember, Ziambi only got 35 votes. When he challenged the 35 votes, he was beaten by 3,000 by another ZANU-PF incumbent. So he is a loser to me. He grew up as a scientist and then turned into law. And then because he was not voted, this is the only way he could stay relevant in the mix of ZANU-PF by lying. But it's going to cost them heavily. Because this time it is not an individual party or an individual leader or an individual person. It's everyone. It is everyone. People are busy in raw areas as we speak. The youth is actually pushing some of us that leadership, we want to action now. We want action now. I'm saying, no. Hold your guns. Calm down. Calm down. It's not yet time. It is not yet time to act. What we want is to hear what the court say. Once the court saying whilst we are mobilizing, then we invoke section 67. And we're allowed if we do it peacefully. And the whole world will be looking on if we are going to do it peacefully. So what's next? What's next with some of us is that we want to listen, because we cannot all be on the ground. Some people will be on the ground, some people will be away. We'll be coming to some places. We'll be coming to South Africa. We'll be coming to the UK. Not that we are better than anyone. No. We are not. But we are people on the ground. We are people on the ground. We are people that will carry the campaign. We are people that will meet people. We are people that will go places. We are people that will be sent by yourselves. It's difficult. It's something else speaking on this platform. And then it's another mobilizing. It's another getting people's confidence. We have already been, we galvanized, like after 2023 debacle, we went bravely outside. Some people called us blue movement, whatever. We did not move so much with many people, but we are saying this time, anyone who wants to, we are respected in the whole 10 provinces of the country, because we went there when it was not fashionable to do so. When it was so, there wasn't even this Constitutional Amendment Bill number 3 of 2026. There wasn't. But we braved, we went, we did a lot of things. So there's no need to reinvent the wheel, because we've been everywhere. We've been everywhere, and we've documented everything that we did. You saw people being arrested when we actually wanted to just present a petition and demonstrate during SADC. You know how the government freaked out and what they did. You know what happened when we also tried even to support it, Africa Unit Square, the late Comrade Geza. And you know what's happening with our Masbaba Shanduko. So we need boots on the ground. That's what we need. We're not looking for anyone's money or anything, but we need just the support. And thanks, Uncle Jeda. Thanks also some people that are publicizing a lot of things. I was in a space this afternoon where there was full of ZANU-PF. I could see the tone changing, that you guys, the bill is not even going to the president. And he says he's a constitutionalist. And I'm saying, what is that? Are they making a U-turn? I don't know what will happen next, but certainly I think ZANU-PF has scored its own goal. And this is the time when Zimbabweans should forget about Mtwakas, ZANU-PF, ZAPU, whatever. If you are experiencing the poverty and hardship that some of us are experiencing, then you need to join hands with us. Then let's talk later. It's not about positions. It's not about offices. It's about liberating our country. If you look at the development, we can talk of towns, but let's look at rural areas. Especially this year, there were so many rains, and the rains exposed massive corruption. We normally look at corruption when we look at minerals, we look at tenderpreneurs and the like. The rural folks are suffering, gentlemen. I told you the other day that my young boy was here, my young man, my brother was here, who works somewhere very close around Murombe's area. And he was telling me, there's this presidential scheme. They are being given one bag of fertilizer, and they are asked to share three people share a 50 kg ammonia nitrate. 3 people share a 50 kg compound D, and that's it. And they go back. And we know how our agriculture was destroyed by Tagwire. He started the command agriculture, but look, ever since 15 years ago, nothing has come up. Nothing at all. Forget about some things that they will dispute. What about agriculture and how many billions have gone into there? If you go to rural areas, some of you maybe have been away for a long time. There are small little dams in roads. Roads are impassable. Christmas, people spent on the other side of rivers because they couldn't pass. But if you look at it, there's a bridge. And if you count how many bridges there are in the country, rural areas, we don't talk about it because it's ZANU-PF dominated areas. Our DC's road district council, 63 of them. And you can imagine how much money is going out. No one ever talks about that. Nobody. There are some things that were donated years back, and they are rotting somewhere. You remember those presidential input schemes and all these farm mechanization schemes? Some people have about 7. I know very well a guy who was a former minister of state who had 7 vehicles gotten through that scheme, and he is just looking at them. So, there's a lot that we'll do as Zimbabweans. Zimbabwe is decaying. Zimbabwe is going down. Never mind about the new things that they might be stealing from. Imagine, I think a few days ago, we gave out something like 12, you call them what, Toyota Fortunas, new. I don't understand, and I don't know how much they would want as evidence to start investigating who has got a company that can make a profit of say 1.5 million every single month is profits. For him to be able to get that money, give to people, and still remain with something and fly around the country or the world with his private jet. That lifestyle should be audited somewhere, somehow. In the public interest, he has to be audited. Thank you very much. Sorry. So angojeta sorry ndandisina way yekukutumira ndingadenda kutumira earlier.
No, it's fine. No, it's fine.
Good.
Yeah, no, it's fine.
But that was a very good analysis. We thank you very much. As I have always said, I will not shy away. I believe in pro-politics. I will always tell you, whether people like it or not, I don't care. When I land in the UK, the first person I'm going to get in touch with is yourself to give us advice. To the diaspora, I believe, and I always told my friends, or I always tell my colleagues, that we've had brain drain. It's a fact. Zimbabwe said the brain drain. My thing is, I would want brain gain. So if we are going to be engaging, okay, I'm just talking of my political side. If we are going to engage with the diaspora, in me personally, I'm doing it in genuine manner because I've seen a lot of threats. I told Marcy, first few days when we met, I said, you're very brilliant. I think we need you. But she didn't understand me. She didn't also believe I'm also in the mix of the politics. But this is true. This is genuine. Whether we are opposition, whether it's ZANU-PF, there's been brain drain. What's left here, what I've seen with my own eyes, is mediocrity. And we need you. There's no way this Zimbabwe will move without diasporians. Thank you very much.
All right, okay, thank you. Beauty, do you want to come through?
Thank you. I was just going to come through and say, I agree with what Masi is saying. I've always said, we have to go through processes. You have to be in it to achieve something. So yes, and when I said, we need to mobilize, I was not saying, we are not going to defend this using the constitution mechanisms that are there. What I was saying is, we need to prepare both areas. Because either ways, we still needed to go into those streets and campaign for what we need. Because these people, as much as we might follow these constitutional leeways, they'll always rig us. Just the same way they rig elections. Last election was declared null and void by all observers. But these people still want to stand there and say they've got the executive powers to pass laws, to amend laws, to do all these changes to our laws. And yet they know it was declared a null and void election. So this parliament, we're taking things to a null and void parliament to be passed as our constitutional legacy from here onwards. At the same time, they are taking away our liberation value foundation. Because our foundation was, we cannot have the minority whites ruling us and declaring who rules us in our own motherland. Now they want to say we can have a minority parliament declaring who rules us in our own motherland. What nonsense is that? They took up arms against this same principle, but they want us to rubber stamp it and say that is fine. We're not being Zimbabwean if we're going to rubber stamp such nonsense, are we? Because Zimbabwe was founded on the issue yekuti majority rules. Mumwe nemumwe ane simba rekunovhotera mutungamiriri wake. And kana tichiti mutungamiriri, we mean all offices. The president is in the presidential office. So any leader in any office should be elected from the majority of the Zimbabwean people, not by a select Zimbabwean minority. So we are already dismantling the foundations of Zimbabwe right now. So as Zimbabweans, we need to stand against that, because principally to destroy Zimbabwe. I just kana takutadza kuchoose president, kana akuchooswa nema PS ake. isusu tisipo pazviri. And worst of all, this president has executive power. Zimbabwe is an executive presidency. Let us dismantle this executive presidency first before we allow a few people to choose the person with executive power to give us SIs as laws in our country. So we need to take away most of the power that is held in the president's office itself before we can even start tackling to say a president can be chosen by the few for the majority. And then we move on kuma MP acho. Yes, they've always had legislative power, but that legislative power has to be checked with the voice of the people. Where have the people gone and ultimately put their voice? The parliament can now then decide kuti they will debate these amendments. I know Tatara do process they will debate it after public consultations and public forums and whatever submissions from the public. But there is no guarantee that that is the basis they're going to use in their voting. Because as we now see, Chabangu is already declaring that I will recall anyone who votes against this amendment bill, which is already a violation to the principle of constitutional amendment itself. And yes, Tatara Shoguti, there'll be legal challenges. People are going to go and challenge this in courts and all that stuff. But we still need the people standing on the doorstep. You don't need to go in, you just need to walk out of your house and declare yourself, I am against this constitution. That is also a mechanism that we need to apply. And I know Tata dismiss that there will be like my challenges akawanda towards changing this, and zvataura zvekunzi we need to appeal to different demographics. I get that, but I also think that even diaspora what Victoria Namdaraji, I haven't seen anyone consulting anyone in the diaspora about Zimbabwean amendments. I may know how to consult, but I guess I am also a citizen of this diaspora and I need to be consulted. So whoever is consulting, please do not leave us out. We also want to be consulted on these matters so we can also put our submissions to parliament are informed to my discussions. So yeah, I was just going to say, Anguti, we still need to mobilize for people power, because that is definitely going to be required for anything that's going on for these amendments, definitely. Thank you.